What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Wedding Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Amanda, and for the first time in the podcast history, you can now watch the podcast. This is the first video episode of this podcast. I don't know what I'm trying to say here. But I decided, so a while ago, I'll give you guys a quick update on things before we dive in. A while ago, I started a YouTube channel, and I did how-to videos, tips. I think I did like 3. I was like, you know what? I have so much to say. You guys know I like to talk. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. So I did that when I first started my business, and I just went back and watched them, and they're a little cringy. So if you want to watch something entertaining, go and watch them. Not that they're bad, the information is great. I just think I could do it better. Anyway, so I was on there and I was like, you know what? I personally watch a lot of podcasts where I put things on in the background while I'm working on YouTube. I love YouTube. And I was like, okay, I think we need to do this for the podcast. So here we are. I'm in my office, in my little setup. You guys get to see where I work every day. Got my coffee. If you're listening to this on Spotify and you want to go switch over to YouTube, feel free to do that right now and you can watch me talk. But first I need a sip of my coffee. I bought the Nespresso iced coffees that you like put ice in and then you brew it over ice. Perfection. I got the coconut one. It's super strong, but it's great. And at 2:00 on a Thursday, I need a coffee. So, hello, I feel like it's been so long. We kind of batch recorded so many episodes at the beginning of the year and well into like the fall of last year that I haven't sat down and done a podcast in so long. And I know Monica and I said that we weren't doing any episodes during the wedding season because it's just too busy. But I feel like this episode just needs to get out there. I need to spread the information because I feel like a lot of people struggle with this. So the topic of today's episode is designing your wedding, choosing your decor, all of those elements. So that's what we're going to dive into, but I like to, at the beginning of episodes, as you guys know, jump into a little recap of what's been going on, our day-to-day, etc. So the YouTube channel is new. There's nothing on there besides this episode and some old videos. One wedding video of the first, one video of the first wedding that I did as Day of Diva, and it is the most fabulous wedding. I love it. It was at the Palliser here in Calgary, and it's stunning. You have to go watch that for sure. So the YouTube channel is new. I'm trying to think what else. So we are jumping into August here, which is our busiest month. We actually just booked wedding number 10 for August. It's a small elopement, so it's not, super crazy, but we do have 10 weddings in August. And as you guys know, Monica is the lead on some and I'm the lead on others. But you know what? I was a little nervous for this wedding season because it just sounded like a lot. I think we have 40 some odd weddings on the books. It sounded like a lot and it sounded really overwhelming. But now that I'm in it, I'm like, I feel so good. I feel so organized. We've been super on top of things. Monica and I have our meeting every week. We have our staff and the scheduling and everything has worked out wonderfully the whole time. And even, some of the girls had things come up or anything and we found coverage or we just moved things around. It hasn't been overly extra stressful. There's always stress for us on the wedding day, of course, because we don't want our clients to feel that stress and we take on the stress of the day for the most part, but it's been really, really good. At the beginning of June is kind of when we kicked off our season. We had a couple in May, and then June, July, August, September, October, we are gung-ho, and I'm so surprised because our last October was like super slow, but everyone keeps saying their Septembers and Octobers are one of the busiest months, and I'm like, wow. So I know all the vendors are hanging in there. It's been wild, it's been amazing, but I hope everyone is enjoying the season as much as I am, as much as we are. Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at in terms of the season and how everything is going. Yeah, I'm loving every minute of it. We are away a lot in August, but that's kind of how last August went too. We were out of town more often than not, but I'm super stoked. So let's dive into today's episode, all about design. So I personally see a lot of our clients struggle with this. Obviously, our clients that book us for design hopefully aren't struggling. But it's hard to piece it all together when you don't have someone. So this episode is really for the people that, want to learn more about design, are currently designing their wedding, are going to be designing their wedding, or are maybe, thinking of getting someone to design their wedding. And yeah, you're just thinking about decor and how you want the overall look of everything to kind of flow and all of that good stuff. But I do see it a lot in our coordination clients where we're not a part of that design piece. We just execute their day, they select their decor, they pick it all, do it all. They just tell us, when rentals are coming and if there's any items that need to be picked up, and we just place it where they want it. So the design piece is on them essentially. And for some, they are super visual, they can see it all. They have lots of our clients have like Google Slides, and they like piece all the things together, similar to something that we would do with our clients' designs with, okay, this is like your candle you're gonna get, this is your napkin, blah blah blah. So some people are like that, and then on the other end, some of our clients, like our day of clients, sometimes reach out to us because they don't know, what will look good together, or these are like our inspiration photos, but like, is this gonna look nice in the venue? Or, where do I get these items, and how do I incorporate this somehow into the design, etc. So I actually had one of she is a partial planning client. She reached out to us and she's like, I personally like can't visualize this right now. We're doing like part of her design. She's gonna like start it, and then we're gonna kind of sort out the rentals and things like that. But she was really struggling visualizing it all together. And I was like, okay, girl, let me walk you through our process of how we design, and maybe this will, help you. So that's kind of where this episode stemmed from, and obviously we get a lot of questions and about design and how to bring that all together. And really, this is a big year for us because a lot of our designs are coming to life, because in the beginning we just did mostly day of. We did, I think 1 or 2 partial plannings with some design. So really this year is a big year for us because a good chunk of our weddings are our designs, which I love. I love being a part of that. I love bringing it to life for our clients, and it's always just so magical on the day. But let me walk you through our design process, and I'm really hoping this step-by-step process will help you to design your wedding. And stay to the end because I have a little surprise. Yes. So, okay, first step, coffee. I hope you guys like the video episodes. We'll see how it does on YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna walk you through our design process. I have my notebook in front of me because, yes. Okay, so when a client comes to us with design, or if they're a full planning client and it's time for their design phase, I think you guys have heard me talk about the different phases that we plan in. So phase 2 is the design phase, and this usually happens 5 to 8 months out, depending on timing, depending on schedules, depending on how intricate the design is. So when people come to us, obviously most people have a vision of what they want. They have their venue, They maybe have a color scheme, they might have bridesmaids dresses, and that's kind of it. And that initial stage is, it's people have an idea of what they want, but they don't know how to bring it to life. They're like, I have 1 million pins, so what do I do with all of this? So our first step is we meet with our clients and we really dissect the pieces of the design with them, where, show us your favorite inspiration photos, show us, something that you like, a focal point for your ceremony, show us one really nice reception layout that you like, on Pinterest or whatever, show us a bouquet that you really like, show us, your bridal party's colors, that kind of stuff. And we really started dissecting that as okay, so this is what we have to work with at the venue. Let's say we have chairs, or we have linens, or we have whatever else, or maybe the client is like, I hate these chairs, give me new chairs. So we really, talk about their must-haves, their, pieces that they don't really care about. Like some people are like, I don't care about cutlery, I'll just use whatever the venue has, or I don't care about fancy, gold-rimmed glassware, I prefer to just use whatever the venue has to offer for water and wine glasses. And we just walk through all the different elements of a design. So the elements of a design would be like starting from like the top of the day. So your ceremony, that's kind of the first place that you're gonna see the design, flowing through the day. So the welcome area of the ceremony, the actual ceremony itself, and then any add-ons. Do you have a bar cart? Do you have a frosé bar over here? Do you have a giant arch piece that's super, really important to you? Do you have a circle arch? Is it hexagon? Do you not care? And you're like, whatever, whatever's cheapest, or elements like that. So walking through each stage really helps break it down of the stuff that you need. Okay, we need a welcome sign. What does that look like? Then we maybe move on to the cocktail hour. Okay, what does cocktail hour look like? Are we using the venue's linens? Do you want something upgraded? What's the vibe for that? Again, what are the added elements of that? Are we having a photo booth at the cocktail hour? Do we have lawn games? Do we have this? All those pieces you have to take into account with the design. And then we move on to the reception, of course, the guest book table, the seating chart, kind of welcome area, obviously the guest tables and the head table, and what does the DJ booth look like? What do we have going on the dance floor? Are we doing extra lighting? What is the cake table, what are we going to incorporate there? Is there a donut wall? Is the photo booth in the reception as well? What do we have for decor around the bar area? Maybe there's a beautiful fireplace in your venue. What do we want to do on there? Kind of like, all the different aspects of it. I think one area that lots of people forget is the bar. Not that you have to do design there, but some nice signage, a floral arrangement. People spend a lot of time at the bar at a wedding, so you want to do something. So we really walk through all those different stages, and we kind of get down to the nitty-gritty of what they want to include, what they don't really care about or don't need to see, and what that's all going to look like. So at that 6 to 8 month mark is when we meet with our clients, and that's when we dissect it. We gather all the information, we look at all their Pinterest boards, and of course at this point we are talking budget. So budget is super important when it comes to designing. We actually include our florals in the design piece. You might already have a florist book and have an idea of what you want, and then maybe we kind of firm it up once we do your design. But the budget is a huge piece, as it will really show you what you can get and what you can't get, or what you should save your money for, or that kind of stuff. So I 1000% suggest to you to set a decor and floral budget, and kind of put those two together and see what that's going to look like. In terms of a budget for design, We've done designs that cost $1,500. We've done designs that cost $5,000. So, and that would just be rentals, just to be clear. But I think the important piece is how important is this stuff for you? How much do you think you want to spend, and what does that look like? On the 1,500 end would be something like, we are not getting elevated glassware, cutlery, it might be a white napkin, a white linen. It might already be included with the venue. They're doing all of that. And then maybe we're coming in with centerpieces or greenery and some candles and maybe a menu and a name card and little things like that. And then on the $5,000 side, maybe we're renting chairs and we're renting 2 beautiful arches and we're renting glassware and cutlery and we're getting name cards and custom menus for everyone and a favor and this and that. So those are all the elements that we do include in a design. So you can really go either way. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle. I think a really good healthy decor, just decor, not florals, decor budget would be like $2,500 to $3,000. If you're looking for something a little bit more, elevated. Not saying that a $1,500 budget isn't doable, but just from what we've seen and what we've designed, I think that would be a really good number if you could work that into your budget. In terms of florals, on top of that, I just got a quote for $1,000 for florals, which was basically personal flowers and an arch piece. So flowers are expensive. A lot goes into florals. Florists are amazing. So when we do our designs, we include the florals, stationery, rentals, any extra things we're buying or our clients are buying, all that stuff. But yeah, so that is the budget piece. I hope that kind of steers you in the right direction when it comes to maybe budgeting what you need for rentals. But I always say work with what your venue has and that fits with your design first, and then add on top of that. Okay, so I hope this is all making sense. The next kind of piece of that design phase is when we make the mood board. So this is when we dive into your Pinterest and we roam around and we look at all the different pins. And after we talk to you, we're like, okay, this is her absolute must-have bridal bouquet. Like she wants this exact one or something very similar. Or this is like a tablescape that she really likes. We usually have 5 or 6 pictures that they have shown us that they're like, this is what I want. This is what I like. And then we just really dive into more of your Pinterest and start dissecting, she also likes this and they also like that. And we create what's called a mood board. So this is 5 or 6 pictures of the key elements of your wedding. So this would be, what we usually include is a picture of your wedding party in the proper colors, as close as you can get on Pinterest. It's not gonna have the exact maybe. Your wedding party, a shot of your bridal bouquet. Some people like to include a shot of their dress or inspo pic of their dress. Totally depends on the couple. A reception shot, a picture of the groom, or this is all vice versa. You can have 2 brides, you can have 2 grooms. I'm just speaking in, you know what I mean. A picture of the other partner's attire, and then a picture of the ceremony, and then maybe a fun element that they want to have, the one that I have up right now in front of me on my computer. We included their cake because they're really into the cake and that's a huge piece for them, and they want a really glam cake table. So that was a big piece and we included that. So pick your 5, 6 favorite pictures of each element of your wedding and put them together. And then from there we select the colors. So, what colors come out when it comes to the venue? Is it white walls? Do they have a beautiful brick backdrop? These are colors that we'd include in there because we'd probably want to play those in. Bridesmaids or groomsmen colors. accent colors when it comes to florals. Like if someone shows us a bouquet, there's probably, you know, greenery and maybe a toffee rose, but then like a blush and then some eucalyptus. So you have to think about all those different accent colors because you might be able to tie them into other places. So I would say, you know, pick 5 to 10 different colors that are, you know, they're not going to be in every aspect of your wedding design, but there's going to be elements of them kind of sprinkled throughout. And that will really help to show you how it's all going to look together. So with all of that being said, the mood board situation, this is like our foundation of the design. This is like, once we send it off to our clients, you know, is this your vision? Is this what you're looking for in terms of inspiration photos, the vibe, like it's more of like an overall overarching vibe of this document with colors. We usually pick some like descriptive words like modern boho or classy garden party, or, you know, something that describes their wedding. And their pictures, and we want them to be like, it's like basically a condensed version of all your Pinterest boards, and you're like, yes, this is the vibe, like everything. I mean, as a whole, not like, oh, well, I don't think I really want this. I don't think we need that much cutlery in this picture. It's like the overall vibe of it. I think on my Instagram, you guys can see some reels that we've made with our design and our mood boards, and then you can see the real thing with photos that were taken on the wedding day, so you can kind of see what we do. There are a few on there. I think I just posted one, so check that out. But with that being said, we, as Day of Diva, another exciting announcement, we launched Diva downloads. So, side note, Diva downloads. I have been wanting to do this for a while. I think I just really want to give a lot of different resources to people planning their weddings, and I just know it's a lot, and I want to give everyone something that will help them, whether, you know, you have planning, you know, a budget for a full planning package, or you have a budget for, you know, a couple Diva downloads to help you along your way. So the first Diva download that we launched was the wedding design mood board. So everything that I just spoke about in terms of putting your colors in, putting your pictures in, I've created a template that you can just download to your computer. It uploads everything into Canva. I don't know if you guys use Canva, but it's amazing, and it will totally help you with wedding planning. It's free. You just create a free account, but we walk you through what pictures you should put where. We give you an example one with colors and everything, and basically you guys will go pick your favorite Pinterest pictures that really ring true to your wedding design, upload them, bada bing, bada boom, you are off to the races when it comes to design. And this is something that we use a lot. So we send this to photographers, we send this to hair and makeup people to give them the overall theme of everything. Like maybe the hair and makeup is a huge piece, and we put in this beautiful braid that one of the brides wanted in the mood board because that's a focal point for them. We definitely send it to florists. Florists will want to know what colors, what design, like before they can even really give you prices on flowers and things like that, they'll want to know a lot more. So this is something that you could send to your florist, to your venue. Maybe you're hiring a decorator and you're like, this is what I like. Run wild. So this is now live on our website. You can download it. It is $34.99, so super cheap. Not going to break the bank. You can download it right to your computer right now if you wanted to, and you can start creating a mood board for your design. So once you have your mood board figured out, we then, once our client approves the mood board, they're like, yes, I love it. That's the best. I love when they say that. I'm like, yes, we did it. We get the vibe. I just need some coffee. So once the mood board is approved, that's when we dive into the design proposal. So that's when we start breaking every area down. So we actually have an Excel sheet that we share with our clients. So the proposal component is 2 pieces. And this is something that you could probably do on your own as well if you're designing your own wedding. So we have an Excel doc that says, ceremony decor, welcome table decor, head table decor, guest table decor, other reception pieces, cocktail hour. We break it down by each sort of area and we start piecing it all together. So this is when we start listing out, okay, we're using the venue's tables and we need this many. So we piece by piece, we're like venue's tables, 8 for guest rounds or whatever. And then maybe we're using ceremony chairs are the venues. So we break it down by item, quantity, and where it's coming from, whether that's a rental company or it's our clients or it's the venues. It all has a list of where it's coming from. It also helps at the end of the night when we're like tick, 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 okay, we got everything. So the Excel sheet is one piece of it, and then the visual proposal is the other piece of it. And at the front of the proposal is their mood board with their colors and their date and everything. And then as you flip through the pages, it'll be like, ceremony. And here's a picture of the arch that we're gonna rent. Here's a picture of this thing that we're gonna rent. And so on and so forth. So each stage has more detailed inspiration photos and then a breakdown of what we're suggesting that you should rent to make this vision come to life. So it's like ceremony, here's like a cute bar cart that we're gonna rent and 3 to 4 different inspiration photos for that area specifically. Next page, here's the arch, here's the chairs, here's the candles, here's the flowers, here's this, like all the different pieces, here's the, guest book stuff, So that's how we break each area of it down. And I encourage you guys, the people that are designing their weddings themselves, to do something similar. It'll make everything make more sense in your head. You'll feel like you're covering all the areas, you're not missing anything. You have cutlery, you have glassware, you have all the different elements. And we go through and we actually price out all the items. So at that stage of basically we're finding rentals to rent, snapping little pics of them, and getting quotes on them. So I encourage you to, when you're doing this, like if you really like an item, like let's say you go into Modern Rentals online, that's a rental company that we use here out of Calgary a lot, and you put together a quote, I would submit the quote, sooner rather than later, because you might not know if stuff is available. So when we're designing, we don't, just go off what's on the website. We inquire and make sure, we have enough quantities and they have what we're looking for, or maybe I need to go in and see it because I'm not sure what it looks like in real life or something like that. So I encourage you to check with the rental companies if this stuff is available before you start like, oh my gosh, I love these chairs, they're so beautiful, I love them. Because I feel like that would be horrible for us if we did a design and we didn't know if any of it was available for our clients. So that's the proposal piece. So that's, a lot of elements go into this. So when you're figuring out rentals, you need to figure out when you can get into the venue, what time things need to be gone by, because that will determine your delivery window of things, and say you have access at 10. So maybe you have a 1 hour window where it comes between 10 and 11. The 1 hour windows are obviously more expensive. Maybe you can get into your venue the day before and you can do an 8 hour window where they can deliver anywhere between 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. And then pick up windows as well. If everything needs to be out the night of, that's obviously more expensive as well. And someone needs to be in charge of stacking all those chairs, putting together all the chargers, and having them ready for the rental company as well. Some rental companies do include setup and tear down, so they might come and do that all for you, but definitely consider the cost of delivery, the cost of setup for anything into your budget. I would say our average, going out to the mountains, sometimes our deliveries are $1,000 because we have tight windows, pick up and drop off, and mileage as well. But I mean, in Calgary, it's a little bit cheaper because you're not going as far. So these are all elements that you need to think about and include when you're getting, like, you know, when you're sourcing your items. So our 3 stages, to kind of recap, are dissect, you know, scour the Pinterest, talk about all the different elements, come up with your mood board, because that's your foundation of everything, and then dive into the design, and that's cost breakdown, delivery, that's paper goods, that's, you know, things that you're gonna buy. You know, we don't usually rent guest books, so that's something that you need to, you know, we usually give a few suggestions for clients. This is roughly how much it's gonna cost, and that way everything in your design is accounted for, and you're not like at the end being like, oh my gosh. So those are the 3 pieces, and then once our clients approve the proposal, or let's say they want to swap out a candle, or let's do this, or, you know, I like this color of napkin versus that, and we swap things out, I encourage you right away to sign those rental agreements, and just know that once you sign that, those items are then yours. So you usually put a 50% deposit down, and then the remainder is usually due 2 weeks before your wedding. But none of that happens unless it's signed and paid for, because a lot of it does, we do run into the problem where some people think, oh, it's already been quoted on, it's ours, and then while you're in that quote phase, it can get booked by other people. I've had that before, where I have stuff in a quote and then I go to book and they're like, it's already been rented. So that happens, it happens. Not much you can really do about that. A couple other pointers when it comes to rentals is always start with more than what you think you need. So when, let's say we have an 80-person wedding, we're probably going to do everything based off of, okay, let's say you invited 80 people, including yourselves. We'll probably do like 85 because, you know, things might fluctuate. Who knows? We'd rather have more than not enough. And obviously that 50% deposit will be a little bit more, but when it comes down to it, those 2 weeks out, you know, whenever you get your final guest count, it's probably going to be less. So, you know, let's say you end up with 70 people, but at least you have the chairs, you have the cutlery, you have enough for everyone, and then we're just adjusting closer to. So that's a big thing, is do not forget to go back into your rentals and adjust for your guest count. Some of our coordination clients, they'll like send us their order, and I'm like, why do we have 99 chairs when your guest count is 75? She's like, oh, I forgot, you know, that's how much we rented to start. So absolutely make sure you go back and do that, as well as always get a few extras. Get an extra linen. I know it's an extra $15 each. Do it. Get an extra linen, get a couple extra napkins, charger plates, cutlery, glassware. Like on a bigger wedding, we'll probably get 5 to 6 extra sets of cutlery or whatever else, and including like linens, table linens, we might get 2 to 3 more just in case. Napkins, we always get more. Candles, I mean, we always order a little bit more, and we can kind of, you know, put them wherever on the day if we feel like we need to zhuzh up an area kind of thing. But those are a lot of different elements that you need to think about when you're designing your wedding. So those are the 3 kind of chunks that we do it in. I'd say there's more like 4 really. So, you know, once you've designed your wedding, my biggest tip for you is stop. Don't look at Pinterest anymore. You know, obviously things are gonna come up, and if you go to a wedding and you really love this element of something and you wanna add it, sure. When it comes to us, like once our clients sign off their design, that's kind of it, because, you know, we have other clients to be doing designs for, and we can't keep updating your design as, you know, you see something on Pinterest kind of thing. So we do make our clients sign off on the designs, and we want to make sure that everything is okay. I love this, I don't want to add anything else, we're good. Obviously we're flexible when it comes to little things and adjusting, of course, but I encourage you, once you've picked your rentals and designed it all out, just no, stop looking at things, stop trying to look at things, because things will still come up on your Instagram and stuff. But the biggest piece is, you know, you when you were in designing this, you loved it. So leave it as is. It's going to be amazing. If you think of little things here and there, of course, add it in if you can, if it's not too like big of a job, but get the main points across and then just go done. And the reason why we do designs kind of 6 to 8 months out is because you're getting closer, you know, to the day. Doing your design before you've figured out your vendors or, you know, have a rough idea of your timeline is very difficult. So I encourage you to, one, get all your vendors booked. That's the first piece of anything. Your photographer, your planner, coordinator, your videographer, you can still book a florist if you want, or we sometimes leave it to the design phase as well, so it's really up to you. Get all those vendors booked and then you're done. Maybe, you know, take a little break because your wallet might hurt. And then 5 to 8 months out, start doing your design. Like, you can keep, you know, collecting ideas and doing that sort of stuff, but trust me when I say your design at the beginning of your wedding will most likely change to, you know, 5 months out from your wedding. And it's also a budget piece too. You know, once you get your quotes back for catering and things, you're like, okay, this is what we have. Most people spend their money on their vendors and then they have, you know, what we have left over, that's what we're gonna do that's what we're gonna use for decor kind of thing. So thank you guys for listening to this episode or watching this. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you do go and buy the Diva Download Mood Board, please let me know. Send me a message on Instagram. I'd love to see it. I'm excited to kind of see where that goes, and just know that we are launching other Diva downloads this year. A timeline template is coming for people that need a little bit of help with their timeline and building that out. So that is coming soon, and there'll be more downloadable stuff for you guys to purchase from our website. So I hope that, you know, shed some light on the design process, a few tips along the way, how we do it, how we narrow it down, and how we help our clients visualize what their day is actually going to look like. With that being said, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you guys so much for listening, and we will see you soon in another episode. Bye!